The excerpt of Don't Go Breaking My Heart by Elton John that I'll be teaching you today contains 3 different chords that you'll play with your left hand and a very simple melody that you'll play with your right hand. You can download the free specialized sheet music of Don't Go Breaking My Heart by clicking on the link directly below this video player. If you've already printed out the sheet music, then let's get started. Now, you may have noticed that the music looks very elementary, but I promise you, this is all you need to create a professional, full-sounding piano arrangement. It's very easy to do, and I'm going to show you how to do it in this short 10-minute video lesson. Also, it's best to learn the right hand and left hand parts separately. And then, when you can play each part comfortably, then play both hands together. So if you're ready, let's start with the right hand melody. Okay, the right hand melody to Don't Go Breaking My Heart by Elton John. So here's middle C. Our first note starts on the G above middle C. We're going to start with our 3rd finger. Now, if you start with your 3rd finger on that G, we basically have all of the melody notes covered. So all of the melody notes for this part are E, F sharp, G, A, and B. So as long as you have your 3rd finger on that G, you have the rest of the melody notes covered. So as long as you don't move out of this position, there's no fancy fingering here. So here we go. Okay, notice how my right hand never moved out of what is called the 5-finger position. So as long as you have your thumb on the E, 2nd finger on the F sharp, 3rd finger on the G, 4th finger on the A, 5th finger on the B, this is the 5-finger position, you can play through this whole excerpt from Elton John's Don't Go Breaking My Heart without moving your hand. So let me do it again. So my 3rd finger starts on the G. There's the F sharp. So 2nd finger will always be on that F sharp. Okay, so take your time with this. Replay this part of the video as many times as necessary. And when you feel comfortable with the right hand melody, then move on to the next section and learn the left hand chords. Okay, the left hand chords to Don't Go Breaking My Heart by Elton John. There's only 3 chords here. First chord is the G chord, so here's middle C. So we're going to start with your left hand pinky on that G directly below middle C. So our G chord is G, B, and D. So a good fingering is your pinky, your 3rd finger, and your thumb. Or a good alternative would be your ring finger, your pointer, and your thumb. Either one of those fingerings will work well for all of these chords. Okay, so your G chord, once again, G, B, and D. And if these chords are really new to you, feel free to write them in above each chord symbol. So left to right above that G chord symbol in the sheet music, just write in a G, a B, and a D from left to right. It's a good helpful reminder. Okay, now the next chord is the C chord. We're going to move to the left. There's our C chord, C major, C, E, and G. Write it in above the chord symbol if necessary. Okay, we're going to move back to the G chord. And then the last chord of line 1 is the C chord, so we move back to the left again. Beginning of line 2, we move back to that G chord. G, B, and D. Now, the next chord is an A chord, which is A, C sharp, and E. Now the only problem we're going to have with this chord is those two E notes in the melody are actually going to collide with the chord. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this E, we're going to get rid of it, and actually that's one way you can play the chord. If you want, you could just play the A and the C sharp. That would be the melody that goes along with that. But if if you've done this before, or if you want to give this a try, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the E and I'm going to put it on the bottom of the chord. So I'm going to put my pinky on the E. Now you may have to slide your hand up a little bit. I'm going to put my pointer on the A and my thumb on the C sharp. This is what's called an inverted chord. So our A major inverted chord is E, A, and C sharp. Okay, I'm just using both hands here so you can see all the notes in the chord. But your fingering for that would be pinky on the E, and like I said, you may have to slide your hand up into this part of the keyboard. Your pinky on the E, your pointer on the A, and your thumb on the C sharp. This is called an inverted A major chord. And once again, if this is a little challenging now at the beginning, you can just play the A chord with the A and the C sharp, and you can leave the E out altogether. Okay, so after the A chord, we're going to move back to the G chord, G, B, and D, and then back to the C chord. Now, if you're going to do, just going back to that A chord for a minute, if you're going to try the inverted one, once again, write these notes above the chord symbol. It's just going to help you find the notes a whole lot quicker. So left to right, above that A chord symbol, write in an E, an A, and a C sharp. And above the E, you might want to write in your fifth finger, so 5, 2 on the A, 1 on the C sharp. Okay, get comfortable with the left hand chords, and I will see you in the next part where I will show you how to put both hands together. Okay, here we go. Don't Go Breaking My Heart, both hands together. Now, if you're looking at the sheet music, you'll notice that first measure there. You'll see the G chord, but underneath it you won't see any melody note. Okay, so that's an indication that you're going to play that G chord all by itself, and then you're going to come in with the rest of the melody notes for that measure. Okay, now we're getting to measure 2. Now you'll notice that as I get ready to play that E melody note, the chord symbol directly above it is the C chord. So since they line up together, that means they get played at the same time. Now, we're on measure 3. Once again, there is no note underneath the G chord, so you're going to play the G chord all by itself, and then you're going to play the melody notes after that. Okay, once again, the next measure, last measure of line 1, we have a G note and a C chord. They line up together vertically, so they get played together. Okay, we're now line 2. Once again, the G chord is all by itself. It gets played, and then the melody notes follow. Okay, here we go. The A chord lines up with the F sharp. So I'm just going to play the shorter version of the A chord. I'm just going to play the A and the C sharp. I'm not going to do the inverted one. So they get played together, the A and the C sharp. That's going to be our abbreviated chord, and that gets played with the F sharp in the right hand. Okay, next measure, the G chord. Once again, there is no note underneath the G chord, so the G chord gets played by itself. The rest of the notes in that measure follow. And the last measure of this short excerpt is the E in the right hand and the C chord in the left hand. Alright, let me play that again. I'll play it a little bit quicker. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this piano tutorial. Please feel free to replay this video as many times as necessary. My name is Guy Fawkes, and this is EasyChordPianoLessons.com.